going on? This is your King and I, Deathbattle Tommy X Turk. Forget the intro. Let's start with the new gladiator battle from the Final Fantasy Deathbattle series. That's on the Vincent Valentine EX Turk channel. And let's get started. Our two combatants are really good combatants. Let's start with the less number. Let's start with someone that's already been established way before. Judge Gabranth, the cruelest judge in Final Fantasy 12. Also the coolest villain in there. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Vayne. Vayne was pretty badass. In fact, Vayne, I almost call him Bane. But no, Vayne was actually my favorite villain in 12, but, you know, we're going to be putting Gabranth because the other combatant is exactly like Gabranth. Now, starting with his skills, Gabranth could use I didn't get that far in Final Fantasy 12, so I skipped and watched some stuff on YouTube. But in Dissidia, you can use EX Core, which charges his limit break, you know, and his attack is based off hatred, because you know that's what drives Gabranth. So having a lot of hatred for the world or whatever not made Gabranth 10 times stronger and can endure some really serious hits and stuff like that. But his EX core ability can make him heal all the way up, so he can come back every time, every second, anytime, all day, every day, no problem. Because EX core plus his limit break, he can make his limit breaks last, you know, longer, because what he could do with the limit break, what Gabranth could do with the limit break is heal himself up and increase his limit break charge. So pretty much he's a formidable foe. Not to mention he uses 2 swords that turns into a staff, which is pretty cool and stuff like that. From what I know, is he survived a lot worse than you can imagine in Final Fantasy 12. As well as his fight with Vaughn and his brother. I think, not Bothanier, Bosch. Yeah, Bosch. Was it Bosch or Bothanier? I can't remember. I think it was Bosch. But I don't know. Bothanier kind of looks like Gabranth unmasked. No, it's probably Bothanier. Like I said, I haven't got that far in 12. I'm sorry. Yeah, again, I apologize. But I do get at least a little bit of his skills from Dissidia, and again, his EX core ability has a lot going for him, as well as he could take more hits than any average person in the Final Fantasy 12 universe. In fact, I think he's stronger than the supposed main character Vaughn, and the supposed character Bothanier, because you could switch the main character in that game. You know, even Dr. Sid cannot compare to what Gabranth could do. Gabranth has abilities. In fact, I think Gabranth could possibly beat Vayne if Vayne does not transform into his forms. So, I don't know very much about Final Fantasy 12, but I'm only counting the Dissidia lore on this one. So, forgive me on that stuff. So, yes, those are going to be my skills and tests for Judge Gabranth. Now let's get to Ravus, Nox Fluret, and we gotta switch out the track for this one. But now it's time for Ravus Nox Fluret ability. Ravus Nox Fluret, High Commander of the Niflheim Empire, and even stronger than the Emperor himself, Idolus Outercap, even without the demon and Terria transformation. Ravus' skills are very impressive, especially when you see the fight between him and Gladiolus. And Gladiolus is one of the strongest, is the strongest bodyguard that Noctis has. And Gladiolus got pushed away by Ravus' sword. You know, and Ravus is so strong that, you know, anyone who puts the King's Ring usually burns it to a crisp. Ravus Nox Fluret only lost an arm. Meaning because of his training under Idolus Outercap, because I don't care what you say, Arda did train Ravus a little bit, but Idolus is the one who trained Ravus. So because of that, Ravus is strong enough that even if he put the King's Ring, it didn't burn up his whole body. He just lost an arm. And then not only that, he gained even. And then also think of there's a Zenkai boost when he got the metal arm. Because if you remember when he got the metal arm when he faced Gladiolus, when Gladiolus was trying to protect Noctis, he pushed Gladiolus like it was nothing. Like it was nothing. And that was just him as a human being. And then skip over when you fight Ravus as a demon form on Terria. He's 10 times stronger than he was in his regular base human form. In this form, he has regenerate probabilities, strength increase, power increase. In fact, this boss fight was actually really hard for me because I actually had to end up using 15 Phoenix Downs, 15 high elixirs, and 15 remedies, because he could also give you status ailments just the same way Idolus could. So Ravus is pretty much like fighting Idolus with Noctis, with a Seath from Final Fantasy 13 all in one. So imagine the power of all those combined. That's exactly what Ravus Nox Fluret is. And the fact he's stronger than the Emperor. He's strong. He could overthrow Idolus 10 times over, but I think Ravus has a respect for Idolus. And now if it was probably Arden, he'd be trying to throw Arden out, overthrow Arden. But then again, Arden's an immortal. I think Ravus kind of took insight that Arden was invincible, so he didn't want to take on Arden. But you know, because he knows and not only that, Ravus is a high-level tactician. He knows who to mess with and who not to. So of course he wouldn't mess with Arden. Now, the situation that happened is it'd be Dissidia again. Pretty much, they'd both be on the side of Spiritus, but I think they'd probably have a bickering argument because both Ravus and Gabranth are too much alike. They're both driven by hatred. Except Ravus comes around at the end of the game, but that's another spoiler. I'm gonna put it right there. But I'd say I have to say Ravus would win. And again, I try to be as fair as possible. I don't know much about Final Fantasy 12, but I mean, let's be honest. Ravus on Terria form, you know, demolishes all your team at once. And he's stronger than Idolus. He's up too close. Not exactly to, but he's close to Arden's level of power. And then this man was already stronger than Noctis until the Magitech factory, and that's because Noctis was able to get more weapons before the Magitech factory, and since Noctis defeated Leviathan, of course Noctis got the boost. I'm gonna call it Zenkai boost in this because it would make sense. So, but otherwise, Ravus was already 15 times stronger than Noctis, you know. So I'd have to say Ravus would win this battle on the fact that he's already overpowered. Now I believe that with the EX core ability that Judge Gabranth gives and gets into his limit break, slashes Ravus up really badly, Ravus starts to take shit seriously, of course. But if somehow he would have lost in his human form, which I doubt it, I think he'd beat him in his human form, but if he somehow lost in his human form, he turns into Ontaria Ravus, which has two forms. When he's at his purple form, he's at his max power, and his abilities far exceed Judge Gabranth. So this is a short one. Ravus Nox Fluret would win. So no hate comments, no troll comments like, oh, that's not fair comments. I don't want to hear it. Ravus would so beat Judge Gabranth. And may the crystal be with you.
I like bitch, you was your mess. Ay, can't keep my dick in my pants. Ay, my bitch don't love me no more. Ay, she kick me out on life, bro.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Hey. Yeah.